In our series, 10 Ways to Grow Your Club, we are now at number 5. In our last video, we took a look at ways you can advertise your club within your community. This week, we're going to take a look at Hamfests and how you can advertise your club outside of your community. That's what's coming up next on LCARA Ham Radio. Well, folks, as we begin the video, we're looking at a ham fest in our local area, not our community, but our local area, the Cave City Ham Fest. And yes, in the old truck there, we took the MCOM trailer as advertising for our club. We try to take it to as many places as possible. Now, why should your club go out to other clubs' ham fests? The biggest reason, to be quite honest, is to advertise your club. You can certainly go as individual members, and a lot of people go to Hamfest because they're looking for something in particular. It could be a part, a radio, a cable, maybe just having conversation with old acquaintances. But whatever it might be, especially with Hamfests that are in your local area, you're probably going to meet other hams that you may know. But from a club perspective, we're there to advertise our club. And it's subtle. This is not in your face advertising. It's just we wear our shirts every time we go to a ham fest. Now, this is again Cave City. So this is over towards Bowling Green in Kentucky. And you're going to find some equipment. You're certainly going to find those parts and radios, as I mentioned. But again, start making those contacts and relationships within the ham community in your local area. Wear your hats, your shirts, whatever you might have. And if you don't have those items just yet, maybe take a look as a club in getting some made. And then as a team, and it might start with just 2 or 3 people in the beginning, start going to these other hamfests. Now, we get asked a lot as LCARA, do you guys have a hamfest? And we don't. And the reason we don't is, number one, it's a lot of work. And one of the ways to show your respect for other clubs in your area is to attend their hamfests. We're very fortunate in the state of Kentucky. There are hamfests nearly every month just in our state. And in many other states, it's very similar. So although we don't have a hamfest because we're active in other ways, hamfests are a way that other clubs use to raise some money because repeaters don't get on the air by themselves and they need maintenance. And so it's a way to create revenue for the club. As we finish out Cave City, we're looking at the inside here. Sorry for the blurry picture, but we just wanted to show you it's not a large hamfest, but for the state of Kentucky, it's not bad. We also have a hamfest that many of us go to up in the Louisville area. There's another one in Richmond, and I'm sure there's one closer up to Cincinnati. Now, let's move to another hamfest. Huntsville. Now, for us here in Kentucky, we like to go to Huntsville because it's not that far away and it's a little bit larger and a little bit more national prominence before Hamvention. This is actually usually in October, but Huntsville has a large convention hall for the indoor part of this. And in fact, I'm not sure if they even have an outdoor flea market or not. But there's enough opportunity inside, especially on that far end, to get pieces, parts, radios, and to talk to the vendors. And occasionally, you might even grab a bite to eat. Here's yours truly, guess wolfing down a funnel cake. So Huntsville in Alabama is another hamfest that we've traveled to for the club, wearing our shirts and our hats. And then a somewhat newer hamfest came on the scene, Hamcation, down in Orlando, Florida. We visited this hamvention or hamfest also, and is at the fairgrounds down there. A lot of walking in and around. They have multiple buildings, and it looks kind of feels a lot like hamvention in a way. And Chris and I go down there from time to time because it's a larger ham fest, once again, and we wear our shirts and our hats and things, patches at other times, again, just to get our name out there. We also interview many of the vendors that are at the show, and we're looking for new products that we might like to review. For instance, here we're looking at a Wolf River coil, and we got a chance to talk to Gary. We've also talked to Compact Tenna and others at these Hamfests. And it's a lot of fun just to get outside of your region sometimes, and in this case, Orlando. Dayton Hamvention, of course, for many of us is the Hamfest. And if you're going to go to one Hamfest in a given year, up in Xenia, Ohio, Dayton Hamvention, it's actually in Xenia, but we still call it the Dayton Hamvention, is the one to go to. You are going to see everything at this Hamvention because the vendors themselves want to be seen. They want to promote any new products that they have. If you're looking at any new model radio that's recently come out, new antennas that have recently come out, and so on, you will probably find it at Hamvention because this is like the CES of ham radio. Now, as a club, we send multiple members or multiple members attend this event, and we've been very fortunate to be able to interview and talk with some of the organizers of Hamvention. And here you can see I'm speaking with Michael Coulter, W8CI, and Michael's been very giving of his time to allow us to interview him 2 or 3 years in a row now as we visited Hamvention. Now, why should you go as a club? This is, again, the Hamvention to go to because there's so many different vendors. And as a club, you can find different projects that you might be interested in to do as a club, whether it's a new antenna, a new tower, new radios, whatever. You will find it at the Hamvention. And Chris and I have also used Hamvention to help us with our club YouTube channel. We want to get content so that those of you that may not have made it to Hamvention can actually see somebody who has gone, made the efforts, and as well as interviewed some of the main players at Hamvention. This is definitely a way for your club, again, to get out there. Wear your shirts, your hats, whatever that you might have that you can advertise your club. Let the vendors know who you represent. Now, on our last little segment here, we're showing Chris and I giving a presentation at last year's Hamvention. We've been very fortunate to, again, get to know the organizers of this event, work with Michael Coulter and others, and they allowed us to do a presentation last year, 10 Ways to Grow a Club. This is number 5 in that series, where we wanted to go into more detail about how to attend Hamfest and make it work for your club. Well, this is 5 years now that we've been doing this as far as going to these different Hamfests, but last year was the first time that he and I got to present. Chris, KY4CKP, and I basically took the 10 Ways and presented it to a pretty large crowd. I'd say by the time the room was full, we had about 100 plus people in there. We're looking to do a presentation this year. The point being is that you can make these Hamfests whatever you want to make of them. If it's to grow your club, grow your YouTube channel, whatever it is, advertise, get out there as club members, walk around as a team, report back, have different goals when you go to Hamfest of what it is that you're trying to accomplish at that Hamfest. Sure, you want to go for fun and enjoyment. Look for that radio, look for that antenna, whatever it is that you individually might be interested in, but also look at this from a club perspective. If you're the president of the club, if you're the community manager or community chairperson for your club, you should be going to these Hamfests and, again, making contacts with these Hamfest coordinators, the organizers, the sponsors, the vendors, so that you start to make a name for yourself as a club. And this will help you greatly as you compound this over time. It's kind of like saving money. You save money over time, it grows and grows through compounding interest. Same can be said for concerted efforts when you go to Hamfest. Each Hamfest that you go to, make a contact. Try to search out the organizer of the Hamfest. Thank them for putting on the Hamfest. And certainly if you're trying to also just grow your own club, look for those projects that you can get involved in, as we mentioned earlier. There's plenty of things at these Hamfests to give you ideas for projects you can work on as a club. For the Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, I'm KY4BDP Brian. I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully this will give you some ideas about Hamfests and how they can help your club. This is number 5 in the series of 10 Ways to Grow Your Club. Take care, and we hope to see you in number 6 coming out very soon. 73.